It's bruschetta, or bruschetta, which is a name for fancy toast. I think it's usually used as a starter. It's delicious. That's what matters. So first you start by putting 3 large onions that you have cut into half moon size pieces, and then you put it in hot sunflower oil so that the oil and the smell and the essence of the onions go into the oil. And then you put the oil in a little bowl with grated garlic. Because the oil is still hot, it will like merge well with the garlic. And then you take the oil with the smell of the onion and the garlic without putting the garlic pieces in. You section it on every piece of bread. So I haven't toasted it yet. It's just fresh bread. You line it with the oil, make sure every piece gets one, and then you put it in the oven for 5 minutes at 200 degrees centigrade. Make sure you have preheated the oven. After it comes out, it's the lovely time for assembling. First, we start with the onions. I actually think it's smart to start with the onions, or you could start with the cheese, but not the tomato, because tomato is watery, so it might make the toast soggy. So I like starting with onions, and I go little by little on every piece, and if there's any piece that I have been stingy with, I go back and fill it up. And then I go with the tomatoes. I only used 1 small tiny tomato that I cut into really small pieces because I didn't want tomato to be the dominant flavor in this bruschetta. I wanted it to be the onions. So I go light on the tomatoes, and then it's time for me to pile up my third ingredient, which is fresh basil. So I also go light on the basil. I don't think you taste much of the basil, but you definitely smell it. And I think the smell of the basil is what makes it like fancy toast. And then I start putting my small square pieces of mozzarella cheese. I use mozzarella in everything. So I start by 2, then go by 3. I make sure every toast gets a good number. Please don't count your food. I usually eat the piece with the most toast and leave the one with the least for the other humans. After that, I put it back. No, I sprinkle a little bit of black pepper and salt. Then I put it back in the oven for 10 minutes at 175 degrees centigrade, just for the cheese to melt. I don't want anything to get brown or be too hard. And then it's ready and it's delicious.